Hi everyone, this is take two. So I deleted that previous video, but look, it is what it is. This is what technology is all about. First and foremost, I want to welcome you all for joining us, Amera and myself, on this amazing journey where I bring forth some inspirational people where I get to interview. Now, 2020, believe it or not, was a make or break year. And I have the absolute privilege and honor to welcome an inspiring woman who inspired me during our year 2020. Now, this lovely lady goes by the name of Amera. Now, Amera is an international belly dancer. She has multiple roles up her sleeve. She has a passion for foster care advocate. She's a business owner, which, believe it or not, she started a business. She launched a business in the middle of a pandemic. Now, who starts a new business in the middle of a pandemic? Amera, that's who. So Amera, without further ado, please hit that button and let's get you on to live stream, lovely. Awesome, I see you, and I'm wanting to start this with you, but it's not allowing me. Alrighty. Okay, Amera, I need you to select. See if you can hit that green button again for me, lovely. And we'll get Amera on the live stream. Gotta love technology. Technology is really testing our patience right now. But guess what? We have all the patience in the world, don't we, Amera? You hit the button before earlier, so let's see if we can get you on there again, my friend. So have a look at the icons on the bottom there. And let's see whether we can get you on. Here we go. Bring Amera Eid on the camera. Yeah! We got there.
I'm here. Oh my gosh. Now I can see. Like.
Welcome. This is
oh my gosh, I'm here. I finally did it. Gosh, technology.
This is so great. So again, welcome. So thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us on Facebook Live. So again, for those of us who are just joining in, I'd like to welcome Amera. Amera is one of these inspiring ladies who I'm just dying to introduce you to, who we're dying to hear all about, because this is all about inspiring people who have inspired us. And this one particular lady, Amera, is certainly one who's created and demonstrated so many beautiful things in her life. She is an international belly dancer, a teacher, she's a foster care advocate, a business owner who launched a mind-body dance studio in the middle of a pandemic. Amera, please tell us about yourself and welcome.
Gosh, where do I start? Gosh. Well, look, I was an international performer for many years, probably a couple of decades, and worked all around the world, mainly in the Middle East, Europe, and started the first belly dance, one of the first belly dance schools in Sydney, and that was in the 80s, and it's still going. It's called Amera's Palace, and that's in Sydney. And then, gosh, I mean, that's in a nutshell. I don't know how you can talk about. I've been working since I was 15 years old. So
wow.
I don't know how much you can put in. I won't tell you how old I am, but how much can you put in a lifetime? But look, I think that in anything, whatever you do, you just have to keep on reinventing yourself, because nothing's ever going to change the same. You need to roll with with the life. You know,
Yes.
if you said to someone 3 years ago there was going to be a pandemic that was going to close down the whole country, you would go, oh, come on, you've got marbles in your head.
Yeah.
Probably get. But you know, you've just got to go with it. If what you're fighting against in any situation is always, you're always going to be on the losing end if you're going to put yourself through suffering.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you've just got to look for happiness in every situation, the silver lining. You know, don't make yourself the victim.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, Amira. And as someone wise once said, suffering is inevitable, but personal growth is optional, right? I mean,
Right.
adversities is we all go through our own sort of struggles in life. Take me through, if you could, what was going through your mind in the middle of a pandemic to decide to start a business, a mind body dance studio? Tell us about what inspired you to launch this baby off the ground.
Well, I can't walk past an empty shop. So I mean, that's the first port of call, and if it's empty and there's nothing happening, then I feel like something's got to happen. And I was using the premises as a pop-up boutique for a few years, and then my friends who owned the premises, they just, you know, gave me a really good option to open it up. And I thought, well, look, if you don't jump in the deep end, you don't learn to swim. So I think that's what you have to do. I think that, and look, you know, at the end of everything that's happened throughout history, whether it be wars, pandemic, and whatever, there's always another end. There's an entry point and there's an exit point. So you've got to be prepared for the exit point. And as much as, look, I think technology has its place. And I mean, look at this, we're using technology now, and Zoom classes just took off. But, you know, ultimately people need community. And my thing is always about creating community and a place for people to come together. And it may not be in an area, you know, people always think you have to do a geographical focus on an area to, you know, see if it's business wise. But if you go into business thinking about you want to make lots of dollars out of it, first of all, go in and think about what can you do for other people. That's always got to be your point of call, because we're all human and we all need something. And the need is to be connected to other people. So create a place where people like to go to and have community. If you can do that, and if you can make money out of it, that's even better. I mean, I did that with my belly dance classes way back when there was no belly dance classes in Australia, except a few people dotted here and there. But you know, you need to create for it to manifest, and it's a really simple equation. We complicate things too much.
I mean, that creation is first formed in our minds. When we have that formation in our minds, well then, you know, we start to create some action steps towards obtaining it. And I certainly, you know, noticed that about you. You had an idea, you were brewing these amazing ideas, and you just went, you know what, it's time to make it happen. And
just do it. I mean, what can happen?
That's right.
What can happen? It won't work. Okay, so, but what's the worst thing is if you don't try.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, I can't get a full-time job yet.
I missed that, Amira.
I said I can't give up my full-time job yet.
But you're playing a critical role in that role as well. Yeah. So you're.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't do anything unless that there's got to be passion. I think that everything that you do from emotional connection gives you motion. And you know, I'm not trying to look for cliches, but that's just the way it is. You know, we're humans. I've evolved through my life, you know, sometimes on a wing and a prayer, but it's just been that, I mean, even in my darkest times, I suppose, in things that I failed at, I found a solution and a resolution. And, you know, you've got to talk to people. You've got to connect. The worst thing is to isolate yourself, I think. Even in a pandemic, you can feel that you're isolated, but you're not. You've got to just look out the window and look at nature. That's your connection. You've got to go for a walk. You've got to be physical, you know. Don't lock yourself away that you spend, you reach the end of your week and go, oh my God, I haven't spoken to anybody.
Exactly.
That's isolation, and that's everybody's own doing, because you can always find someone to talk to.
That's exactly right. And I think the key is that we're never alone, are we? I mean,
Never.
That's something I've learned in my journey, is that you're never alone. There's always somebody there that has the time to listen to go for a walk. I know you and I, we've spent a lot of time walking, walking and talking, and that was like therapy, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? Like, you always think when you're talking to someone, one of my favorite sayings is, the most interesting people are the people that are interested in you. So be interested in someone. Do you know, like, be interested in someone. It's a blessing to be interested in other people.
Yeah.
And I think I learned that from my mother.
Yes, nice.
You've got to find yourself a mentor in something and someone.
Yeah, I love that. Be interested in someone. And people love to talk about themselves. So once you know.
Oh, absolutely. And be really interested, like really be interested in what they have to say, because it's twofold. You're listening to them, and you find interesting things in something someone says. There's always something.
Absolutely. And then that person, they just want to be heard. Most of the time, people just want to be heard.
Yeah.
You know, people who express concerns, worries, they just want to be heard. They, you know, often as the listener, we think we need to find the solution for this person, right? And how many of us do that?
Yeah.
Whereas we could just listen to them and allow them to be heard, that's just healing on its own, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So and so look, getting back to the studio, you know, we want to create something that we know that we need to move our bodies, whether it be through dance, and that's my genre, belly dance, of course, in particular. And you know, I'm an advocate for all Middle Eastern dance, and that it's the oldest dance in the world, and I have a passion for it, and it's what has carried me through, you know, travel and different moments in my life and amazing times in my life, and it's given me many opportunities. So I've been really blessed. So that's why I've brought Middle Eastern dance to a very small community up here, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I mean, my past life in the dance has been to dance all over the world in Middle East and palaces and you know, places all around the world. But you know, I still get a buzz out of teaching 6 people, or you know, a small group. It's fine. As long as you're moving and you're using your body. And we've got a beautiful yoga teacher, and we've got a lovely little space and meditation. And you know, I'm trying to get other people in the community with different you know, things that they can teach. Pass it on. You know, if you've been given a gift, don't keep it to yourself, and pass it forward and pay it forward with the intention of moving it on to other people. And as a result of that, if you can make money from your talents, well then, I mean, we all need to live. It's you know, but you know, the thing that you do first is, if you have a talent, be able to pass it on. That's really important. I
love that. Because you think about it, what sort of injustice are you providing to society if you are not passing that on, right?
Absolutely.
In essence. Because you're providing that value. Who knows who you're going to inspire, who knows whose life you're going to change by passing that gift on, by passing that knowledge on, that skill on. Who knows, right? And
absolutely.
Tell me the importance of bringing that mind, body, dance, the integration that you've created. Tell us more about the importance of that.
Oh, well, look, we know that our mind and body are so connected, especially, we're connected to every part of our being. We can't fix one thing in our head and not fix the other things in our body. We're all connected through some way. So, if I can provide a service in what I do, then there's someone else that can provide a service in another area. I can't be the jack of all trades. But I can surely bring other people together to be able to facilitate different things and provide that for different people. So I think that that's really important. So I love to learn from other people as well. I have to also be the eternal student. Not always just in what I do, not just as a belly dancer,
Mm-hmm.
but I learn from my yoga teachers. I learn from the meditation teachers. I learn from Sheb. I learn from talking to Sheb. Yeah. So look, during the pandemic, even look, I did things that I challenged myself. Like I went and I learned about social marketing, not because I wanted to do. I just wanted to know how it worked. So I still work with my strengths and not my weaknesses, but I try to bring awareness to my weaknesses. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And what is one of the most insightful things that you were able to learn from the year 2020 or during your experience? Anything there that sticks out?
Insightful. What I learned. I learned to love where I'm at and who I am, and reconnect with myself. I think, everybody in the beginning, I think, worried about that we had to be locked away. I mean, look, I was in isolation for the first 2 weeks of the pandemic, and had to get groceries, passed over the balcony and things like that. But due to being overseas and coming back, but I think that I just learned. I like being in my own space. I like being with myself. I like sharing and talking and spending time. And I think that I just learned to revisit that, because I think sometimes our life is so busy with all the things we have to do, is that as much as we think that we're spending time with ourselves, I mean, I rediscovered that running. I learned, I started running again.
Yay!
I mean, Forrest Gump. So I just kept running.
Run, Amera, run!
And you many a time ran over a bridge. Got lost on a run.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, all those things. Look, we I think I discovered also, people, so many people reacted so differently to the pandemic. And that was an interesting thing, because you see people as something, and then when the pandemic hit, they became part of a craziness, really. Some people were just like caught up in this disaster mode, like everything was a disaster. And I can't, yeah, they made things worse than what they, those people that get caught up in crowd. Well, I don't know what the word is, when you, like, someone says, oh, there's a fire, and everybody starts running.
Yes, and they hit the panic mode, the panic button.
Yeah, like I saw that and I was like, wow, I didn't think that person was like that, or, that they'd get caught up in the bad news, and no one was looking at the good news. And, everybody was, I mean, we've had, and I think that, we look at other generations that have gone through wars, and we're in a country that has people from so many different parts of the world. And, they've all suffered. Some of them, we've all been immigrants, like my parents were immigrants. Not that I'm saying that they suffered, but, we all had to reestablish ourselves from different countries sometimes. And that's not easy in itself. So of course we're going to overcome things, and things will always be different. Nothing will ever be the same. Yesterday doesn't exist, and tomorrow is another day that we don't know what's going to happen. So we can only perceive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think,
yeah,
you know, look, it's never going to go back to what it was, and that's okay. You've got to say that that's okay, because, you know, I'm not the same as I was when I was 21.
right.
You know, there's a
Yeah, I love that,
yeah,
Amira. I love that. And I guess that's what builds resilience, mental toughness, our
yeah,
ability to change towards circumstances. You know, how quick are we to change
yeah,
and adapt to certain changes that happen in our environment? And you hit the nail in the head. Our level of perception. What story do we give it? What meanings do we give it? And then are we going to
yeah,
play that record on and on and on and on and on? And the answer is
yeah.
right. Exactly. Exactly. All right. So moving forward, what's the plan for Mind Body Dance? Tell us where you want to move this amazing studio that you've created.
Well, so the studio exists in the same premises as my other little business called Cave Woman. So Cave Woman's got beachwear and things like that. So that's sort of a bit seasonal. So, but it's still going, and so they sort of counteract each other. So I want the Mind Body studio to be a place where women can come together and learn from each other. A yoga space, a meditation space, a dance space, events space. You know, like this Sunday we've got a harem party, for example. It's just all women coming together. You know, nothing but that. You know, so a place where you can come together, share food, laugh. That's, you know, just enjoy. You know, just a place where, and you know, we've got Janie, our massage therapist, who you taught, that she does massage there as well. So, you know, I just want people to come there and, you know, share what they do. Really, I just want it to be really organic. I don't feel like I want to run a center. I just want to share a space.
Nice, nice. And that comes from a heart space, and it's very nurturing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got an opportunity to have this space in our area, and I think, you know, it's about time that we can come together, and like there's so many people that can share and be, and you know, just come and do things, and that's what I'd love to see.
Yeah.
Lots of that happening.
Bringing in that connection, Amira, and that's what you're doing. You're bringing in that connection, and that person will meet that person who will inspire that, you know, and it just filters through, and you have this beautiful flow of this beautiful effect that you've created, right? You've created that space.
Yeah, and I did that in Sydney, and I've done it up here, and you know, just see wherever it goes, I'm happy. Like wherever it snowballs into or it doesn't, I mean, it will always keep going. Yeah.
All right, time for some fun questions.
Okay.
Question number one. Who is your inspiration?
Who is my inspiration? Just off the top of my head, my mother. My mum, and everybody that I meet. I can't really pick one person because there's a different person for every facet of my life, I think. My friends. Yeah.
Nice. What's the most interesting thing that you've read or heard this week?
This week, the most interesting thing I've read this week. I read the book, The Happiest Man. I think it's called The Happiest Man on Earth, and he was a Holocaust survivor. Don't ask me the name of the book. I've just passed it on to my friend Anne to read. But it was he's based in Sydney. I think it's called The Happiest Man on Earth, and that was a great book. Very easy to read. Yeah, so I think that's the best thing I've read this week.
I love it. Do you speak any other languages other than English?
Yes, I speak French. I speak Arabic. My Arabic's a bit rusty. I speak a little bit of Greek and a little bit of Italian. And English. English, not too bad.
What is that, 5, 6?
Oh, yeah, but my parents are from Egypt, so my grandparents spoke many languages, and my parents speak a few languages. So it's just normal in our family. I'm lucky to be able to speak other languages. Yeah, being brought up in a multicultural house. Yeah.
And what would you like remembered about you?
Like remembered about me? That I was a kind person, I think. And, you know, I was an all right dancer.
All right. We need to put those YouTube links in the box, in the comments box, and share those amazing moves. Say again?
Bury me in a pyramid.
What is one message you would give to the world?
One message. One message. I think what I said before, be interested in other people.
Yeah.
I think be interested in other people, and that will make their day. And in turn, it will make yours.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Now, here's a really weird question. What is the weirdest question you've ever been asked?
Oh, gosh. The weirdest question I've ever been asked. Oh, my gosh. I've been asked really weird questions, especially when I was dancing.
Yes.
Oh, they always used to say, how do you know how to belly dance? You're not Lebanese. I was like, yeah, how does that? Or, oh, how come you belly dance? You don't have a belly. Oh, I don't know. Gosh, the weirdest question. I can't even think. Gosh, you put me on the spot now, Chef.
This is all in
I've had lots
you.
of questions in my dance time. I think I've had lots of weird questions.
I bet
weird and wonderful questions. You know, like, why do I dance? I'm from Australia. That I used to get that in the Middle East a lot. Why are you from Australia?
You've probably been asked that many that you could write a book about it.
Oh, I'd love to be able to do that. I started to do that.
That's amazing.
I don't know who though.
Now tell us about the events that are coming up. So you mentioned earlier you had the harem night.
Oh, we've got the harem. Yeah, it's like an afternoon thing. So just lots of yummy home cooked Lebanese food, and some entertainment. And Michelle's going to dance, and Pavy's going to dance. Yeah, beautiful Michelle. She's our Tuesday teacher. She teaches on Tuesday at the studio, and she's just gorgeous. And yeah, and then we have a singer. And oh, I'm telling you, there's surprises. I forgot.
Did you just give away the surprise?
Look, just lots, and look, it's just going to be all decorated and just beautiful. And I just want people to come and have a bit of a taste of an afternoon, feel like they're lounging in a harem in the Middle East, you know, like what women used to do centuries ago. They just used to, I mean, the only thing that'll be missing probably is, you know, the hubbly bubbly pipe, because we can't smoke outside. Not that we don't smoke though.
It'd be a nice prop though, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be a nice prop. We might have it as a prop. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. So that workshop is coming up this weekend?
So yeah, that's just an event that's on this weekend. And the other event I've got coming up in August is the Newcastle Belly Dance Festival, which is in August, which is a big festival in Newcastle for Newcastle. So that's Newcastle Belly Dance Festival. You can find that online. So I'll be teaching there amongst my other colleagues. Jana's teaching as well. She's coming down from Queensland. Yeah. And and also we're going to also go to Seals Rock in June to teach as well.
Amazing.
So Zaida, Jana and I, so we're going on a road trip to Seals Rock. So yeah, look, I'll just go off and do little workshops now. I don't perform anymore, except maybe at the event I'll do a little performance. But you know, I performed for over 35 years, so the body's not what it used to be. Can talk and demonstrate a lot better now.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You're, as you said before, you're paying it forward. You're paying your gift forward.
Yeah, and everybody will. Yes. Yeah, dancing with passion. If I can teach that, teach people to dance and listen to the music from within, that's a really, if I can teach that, then I feel like I'm a really good teacher. Yeah. My teacher told me I had 2 left feet, by the way.
Wow.
Back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know, those sort of things are supposed to not put you off.
Not at all.
People are always say, there's always going to be someone that says things that you don't want to hear, or and you don't, it doesn't need to be true. Someone told me the other day that if someone tells you something 3 times that's how you believe it, and I don't believe that. I think anything that creates adversity, you've got to keep pushing through. Maybe do it 10 times.
Yeah.
And see.
Yeah.
Or learn that adversity.
Learning from adversity, that's right. And if you were to give your top, say, 2 or 3 tips overcoming adversity, what would that be? What does that look like?
Oh, look, just don't give up. I mean, you go with your gut feeling and really, you know, and that's where the mind body comes in, because you really need to tap into that gut feeling and go. I think that our senses are a bit, you've got to tune into your senses a little bit more and your gut feelings, because, and if there's something that's telling you that you're not sure, then ask a person that you think and you trust that has that gut feeling to guide you and just to put you back on the right path. Because I think you need to just, don't give up. Don't give up. And if you do give up, then look for the reasons why you gave up in that.
Yeah. As in, are they aligned with your values?
Yeah.
Are you connected to whatever it was that you're, yes, people change as well. Sometimes we change paths, and sometimes we get diverted to other areas of life, and it's all very interesting.
Yeah.
But that's a really good question to ask. Well, why did I think like that? Why did I behave that way? What triggered me?
Yeah. Yeah, be curious. Be really curious about yourself. You know, don't worry about what other people are thinking or doing, unless they're people that are meaningful to you. But be curious and ask yourself why. And that's, being curious is going with your gut feeling, curious about why you're feeling like that.
Yeah. And I guess that's what mindfulness teaches us. It teaches us, rather than be judgmental, let's be curious instead. You know, let's be curious. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why I had that thought. I wonder why I behaved or acted the way I did. When you're dancing, Amera, and you've danced for, as you said, over 30 years, and you mentioned something is tapping into that soul feeling, that, how do you explain that? Is there a word in the English dictionary that describes that feeling of that interconnectedness when you tap into whatever it is? Is there a description of some sort that you can just enlighten us with your experience, with your words? What does that feel like, and how can you welcome others to come in and explore that feeling?
There's a word in Arabic I can think, but I can't think of it in English. But I suppose the closest word would be like a euphoria, I suppose. But no, that's not really what it is. There's a peacefulness when I dance. Even if it's a fast melodic or a fast rhythmic piece, there's also always a center of me that's quite connected to something that's peaceful and connected to something that it's indescribable. And I don't really know what's happening externally. I know what's happening internally, and I mean that from like my heart center, I suppose, without becoming, you know, I'm not being airy-fairy about it, but it's just, I think that when I talk about, and I always talk to people that I'm teaching, that you have to feel the music, not with your ears, but with your heart. And I think that that's what it is. I think that you really need to connect with that. I mean, you know, people can make, like, you know, they when they're learning externally, but once you've been learning for a while, you start to think about it internally. You know, like, how does that make you feel, or why you do what you do? And you can do moves, but the transition of a move to another move is where that's the most important thing. So when you're creating a sentence, it's not just words, it becomes a flow of words.
Right.
So dance is like that. So the movement of the dance is a flow of movement. So that's what you're feeling inside, is that flow, that connection to the movements moving into each other, rather than just a circle, a hip circle, or a figure eight, or things like that. It's what's happening in between that is the most important thing.
Yeah.
That connects those moves to each other, if that makes sense. And I suppose, like, but I get that when you're learning to dance, you learn each of the moves separately.
Yeah, I get that similar sort of feeling in meditation. You know, in during meditation, there's a point or a time where you just feel this blissfulness, where it's almost like you don't even exist. You kind of, your entire being is filtered through everything and anything around you. It's kind of like, I'm just wondering whether that might be something similar. It's almost like a meditative state. You're absorbed.
Yeah.
Right.
If you see like in Turkey, like the dervishes in Egypt, we have the Sufis, where they just spin and spin and spin, and they just go to another place. And I think that that's the ultimate connection with dance, especially when it's a dance that, of course, if you're looking at choreography, you have to think about what goes with the move, and you're doing it as a group. But if you're dancing by yourself, you're spontaneous, and spontaneity brings flow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
because
that.
you need to have emotion in motion.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well said. I love that. We need a quotes by Amera.
Oh, quotes by Amera. Gosh, I don't know where it's coming from. No,
Love it. I love the way you put that. Emotion in motion, flowing to and through. Everything is all interconnected, you know, and I love it. I love it. Amera, I can go on all night talking to you, my friend. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for agreeing to do this with me, and I hope to bring on.
Oh,
Is there
thank you.
any last minute inspirations, any last minute tips, any last minute quotes that you'd love to share with the world?
Gosh, no, I don't know. Look, just everybody just be happy. Or in the words of S.N. Goenka, who I used to do meditation with, you know, may all beings be happy. And I always think of that quote, and I think that that's the ultimate quote. Just wish happiness. You know, spend time looking at the glass half full and not half empty. Worry about what's in your backyard and someone else's.
I love it. And dance
Yeah.
as though no one is watching.
Absolutely, Sheb. Thank you.
Get in there.
Thank you. I love chatting with you. We could keep chatting and chatting and chatting.
We most certainly can, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, check out Dance Mind Body Dance Studios at Caves Beach. I'll pop the link onto the bottom to the event that's also coming up too. Thank you so much for those of you watching. If you want to find out more about the amazing Amera, head on to her page, which I will also put the link onto the bottom as well. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to share, because you just never know who these messages will inspire, what actions it will inspire, what businesses will be created following this. We just never know, because there's a part of everyone that's just dying to come through and seek out and seek expression and expansion. And after all, that is what it's all about. It's about growth. It's about our ability to pass on our gifts, paying it forward, because what type of injustice are we providing for others if we are not privileged to share those gifts with others and helping others grow in their personal growth and spiritual development? Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic evening and a wonderful week. Mwah! Lots of love to you, my friend. I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.